Hello everyone, the Kentucky Patriot. I'd just like to bring you a video just all about revolvers. Uh, there's questions about revolvers for carry, for home defense, so I'd like to make a video and just cover revolvers the best I can without making the video too long and give you my thoughts and opinions. Having revolvers, having carried revolvers, having revolvers for home defense purposes, for carry purposes, I think a revolver can be a great asset to you. So if you're wanting to, if you're a revolver guy, and there are just revolver guys, there's guys that absolutely like a revolver for everything from home defense to concealed carry. So if you're one of these guys that want to carry a revolver and you like it better than like a 1911 or a Browning high power or a polymer gun, and you're interested in carrying a revolver, or you do carry a revolver, these are my thoughts, and I'll give you the pros and cons, because everything's got pros and cons. Revolvers are very concealable, very easy to carry. Most of them, especially some of the airweight Smith & Wesson makes, there's others too, that are very lightweight, easy to conceal, just great carry options for both men and women. But some of the downsides, I know people say, well, it's the capacity. They only hold 5, they only hold 6 rounds. But if you actually study shootings and statistics, the average concealed carry permit holder that's had to use their firearm, the average is 1 to 3 rounds. So even if you fire the 3 rounds, you still, even if you've got a 5-round revolver, you're still above. But then there's always those people that say, I know that's just the average. There's always those that you need more ammo. So this is simply what I recommend. And I'm not telling you can't get speed loaders. I'm not telling you can't go to the range and train and get fast at it and get sufficient with it and train. But to be honest, most people don't train to that level. And I'm not saying you can't get on YouTube and find somebody that can do it amazingly fast. But like we've said in so many of our other videos, when your life's in danger and you've already shot 5 rounds, a speed reload with a revolver is far more difficult than with a semi-automatic, like we showed you in other videos, the tactical reload. The revolver requires much more training. It can be mastered. I'm not saying that it can't, but for the average permit holder, I'll tell you, if I was happy with 5 to 6 rounds, then I'd just carry 5 to 6 rounds of my revolver, and I'd be happy with it. If I wasn't happy with the 5 to 6 rounds, here's a thought and here's an idea I think a lot of people overlook. You just carry another revolver. Just carry you 2. Because I'm telling you, without a doubt, and with minimal training, you'll be able to draw wherever it may be so much faster than you'll be able to reload with the revolver. And like I said, revolver holsters are very comfortable. They're very compact. They're very small. So if I wasn't happy with my capacity of 1 revolver, I'd just simply carry 2. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's easy, lightweight, no problem. Another, I think, and this is more of a myth with a revolver, is people say, well, I'll carry this revolver because I'm a revolver guy. I like the revolver. It's small and compact, snub nose, but it's just a belly gun. So just if somebody's on top of me, I can get them off, but it's not accurate at range. And I understand we're not talking 200 yards. You're not going to be a master marksman. But what I am saying is you shouldn't just think that it's a belly gun, because you need to train with that and be able to shoot it accurately enough, because if this is the weapon that you're carrying, then this is the weapon you're going to have with you at all times if you're planning on carrying a revolver. So you may be at a mall and somebody may not be right on top of you, but there may come in a shooter, a deranged, some mass murderer, and he starts shooting. Well, if you just depend on that to be a belly gun, you need to be able to accurately defend yourself and defend the innocent people. So that's the only kind of downside. I think people's mentality a lot of times when they have a short barrel gun, they think, well, it's not accurate, I'm not going to train with it, I don't need it anyway. You do need to train with it. You do need to go to the range. You do need to practice, because it may be a belly gun. Then again, it may not. And we need to train for these scenarios. I know people say, well, you're paranoid or whatever. We're not paranoid, but we don't have our head buried in the sand either. To think that these things don't happen, really, I think is doing ourselves a disservice, because we never know what scenario we may find ourselves in. And I train with your firearm, whatever one you pick. Whether you pick a semi-automatic, a 1911, a Browning high power, a Brad M9, a polymer gun, revolver, it's up to you. But whatever it is, you need to be familiar with that gun. Don't just assume, well, I won't need it for this or I won't need it for that, because you never know. And that's the only gun you've got. You've got to make do with whatever gun you've got. And but I think a revolver can be a great tool. as a concealed carry weapon, and even for home defense. And I know a lot of times people say, well, wait a minute, you said a handgun cartridge wasn't any good for home defense. You made a video on the MP5 saying a handgun cartridge wasn't sufficient for, to stop a threat. And really, I have a hard time. I don't understand what people's talking about. They don't want to use the word knockdown power anymore. They don't want to talk about knockdown power. I don't understand what they're talking about, because if you don't want to use the word knockdown power, that's fine. I'll use the word threat stopper, okay? And what I mean by threat stopper is if somebody's coming into your house on a home invasion or coming after you, to be able to neutralize that threat or put that threat down where they can no longer attack you or stab you or pull a gun and shoot you. That's what we're talking about. So do I think a revolver can be used for home defense? Absolutely. But when I say handgun calibers, this is basically what people think a lot of times when you talk about a handgun caliber. I hear a lot about the .22 LR. And people say, well, the .22 LR has very little recoil, and I can get quick follow-up shots. And I've got 10 rounds in my gun. Well, I'm not telling you that this is not lethal. I'm not telling you that this will not kill somebody. But what I'm telling you, if somebody that's got bad intent comes in and is determined on doing harm to you, you can have 10 quick follow-up shots. 10 quick shots on target and not stop that threat. Now, he may die 2 days later, but that he has continued to stab you, hurt you, shoot you. And I know there is scenarios where somebody shot the first round and the perpetrators took off running. But there's also scenarios where people have been shot multiple times and continues to attack. And I'm not here to be controversial. I'm telling you facts. Handgun rounds do not stop people. Most people, you go back and look statistics. I'm not saying they've never killed somebody or people hasn't been stopped by handgun caliber rounds, but if you go look at the statistics, even the big 45 carry gun, most people survive gunshot wounds. They sure do. So it can get you out of trouble, but it does not necessarily saying it's going to neutralize the threat. That's why I don't like a handgun cartridge for home defense. Like I said, we're limited on concealed carry. We can't carry a shotgun with us. But for home defense, that's why I'm against small caliber. Even if you can get quick follow-up shots, even if you can get on target quick, even don't have recoil. And I understand recoil is an issue at the range. I mean, if you go to the range and you're shooting a 300 Win mag and you're going to shoot 3 boxes of shells, yes, recoil is going to be an issue. But when somebody is coming in and your life's at stake, to be able to defend yourself, recoil is not as important at the house when your life's in danger, somebody's in your home threatening you and your family as it would be at the range. Here's a 9mm. This is what I was talking about when I'm talking about handgun rounds. When I'm talking about handgun cartridges, I'm talking about .22 LR, 380, 9mm, 357 SIG, 40 caliber, 45. These are all carry options people use, even with the revolver, like the 38. But again, like I've told you, handgun rounds, ballistically, the knockdown power or the stopping power, the threat stopper, they just don't usually have enough power and velocity to absolutely neutralize a threat. There have been people shot multiple times that have survived. So we get back to carry. Here's the thing. People want to carry a gun like this because it's easy to carry, small, no recoil. But again, if you're shooting a .22 LR or even a .22 Magnum of a barrel this small, you're not going to get a whole lot of knockdown power. But is there a use for this gun? Yes, I have carried this gun before. Me and my family go to the beach. There's times you don't want to carry a huge gun. You slide this in your pocket. Now, do I think that has the same knockdown power as a 300 Win mag? Absolutely not. But to have it with me, to have it in my pocket, there's pros and cons. You don't want to carry a big gun to the beach. You want to walk up down the beach with your family, but to still be armed to put this in your pocket. If somebody's got on light clothing like a t-shirt, I think it can get them off of you. As we talk about a belly gun, this could be one right here. But when you look at revolvers for home defense, you are not limited to what we just described as a handgun caliber. You can go on up way above that. And now for home defense, now concealed carry, I know you're limited. Just like with a semi-automatic, you can't carry a shotgun, you can't carry a huge gun a lot of times in a revolver. But I do recommend the minimum of a 38 up from a revolver, and that's most what people carry for carry. But now on a home defense revolver, you are not limited to a 38. You're not limited to a small caliber. And people, you have different thoughts and different opinions. But as a home defense gun, you can actually look at something like this. And this is the 454 Casull. This shoots the big old 454 Casull round. And people say, well, there's no way I can handle that recoil. This is the Ruger, the Super Blackhawk, the 454 Casull. Now, I have not personally weighed this, so I can't tell you, but from personally, but from the factory, they say that this weighs over 50 ounces empty. So believe it or not, even though this is shooting the big old 454 Casull, this gun is totally manageable in recoil. My wife has shot it. My 81-year-old grandpa shot it. My dad shot it. We've all took it to the range. It is very, very manageable in the right hands. If you're a beginner, if I don't want to start out shooting a huge gun like that. But for home defense, if I was going to use a revolver, I would not go below a 357 Magnum. Now, this is not carry. This is for home defense. You start at 357 Magnum or go up 44 Magnum on up from there. And of course, you got to watch the over penetration issues as you would with anything else. But I'm telling you, ballistically, terminally, anything, the human body anatomy, I would any day of the week, would rather have one of these coming out of the 454 Casull, big barrel, 300 grain hollow point, hit somebody in center mass any day. Now you talk about stopping power, you talk about knockdown power, this is it. This is why they carry these in Alaska and grizzly bear country, because you don't want a grizzly bear to keep attacking you. You want to stop the threat. This is a threat neutralizer. So you are better off. And you say, well, that big gun only holds 5 rounds. I understand that. And you probably won't be able to do a tactical reload in the middle of the night. But if you choose this, what I'm telling you is you are so much better off, and you'll be so much safer, you and your family, to fire off a round of the 454 Casull and hit somebody in center mass. People don't want to use knockdown power. They want to use the term threat stopper. That's fine. That is a threat stopper. That's game over, okay? You're so much better off with this than you are 10 quick follow-up shots with a little 22. Even though it's a hollow point, most time out of your handguns, you won't have enough velocity out of a handgun to even make that hollow point expand. So you're probably going to just be poking little holes. The 454 Casull round, and some people say, well, that's overboard. But here's the thing. If you've watched a 22 Plankster, you've seen him shoot bulletproof glass with a 357 Magnum and it did not penetrate. You've seen him shoot the bulletproof glass with a 44 Magnum. It did not penetrate. You've seen him shoot it with a 454 Casull and it went right through that bulletproof glass. So what I'm telling you is, whether they've got body armor, whether they've got, you never know what people may or may not have. But I'm telling you, if you want to stop the threat, you can do it with a revolver. You want to carry a gun, you can carry a revolver, and I believe do it with confidence. You can carry, different. There's so many options. You just need to train with it and just think about what you want to do and the scenarios. But if you're a revolver guy, I wouldn't have a bit of problem carrying a revolver. If I wanted to use one for home defense, I wouldn't have a problem using one for home defense. But again, if you're going to carry one, just train with it. If you use one for home defense, just train with it. But I wouldn't let people talk me out of recoil. Okay, I know so many people say, well, the recoil, I get faster follow-up shots. Recoil is not that big of a deal. If you'll just train, like I said, my wife loves this gun. She don't have a problem shooting it, and you won't either. You really won't, especially if your life's dependent on it, and it's in the middle of the night, and somebody want to kick in your door. And revolvers are very simple to use, very reliable, just great assets to you. Whether you want to carry, whether you want to have one for home defense, I think a revolver is a great option. If you're a revolver guy, you can get you a revolver to meet any of your needs, and you can carry it with confidence. You can defend your home with confidence, but you don't have to take my word for it. Go out and do some ballistics tests yourself. Study ballistics. Go watch actual police shootings and read books that's been written about actual police shootings or actual concealed carry shootings and the ballistics. And I'll tell you, we can learn a lot. And a lot of times what you think will happen when a certain round, or you think it's going to be the result, isn't always the case. But this is just something to think about. And if you don't want to carry a revolver, you carry something else. But if you want to carry a revolver, you want one for home defense, this is something to think about. This is something to try out. But if somebody breaks into your home, you keeping your family and your friends safe, you defending your loved ones ought to be more on the top of your mind than recoil from a big gun like this. But I tell you, I love it. It's been great. Of course, had no problems with it. Love this little gun too. But now, would I want this for home defense? No, no. Would I want this for carry? No, no. But I tell you, you got a lot of different options. You just talk it over with your family, what you feel comfortable with. You train, you get training, you study, you learn ballistics and to find out what, because you never know. We may actually need this one day, and this may actually be what saves your life. This may become between you and your family being hurt or killed. May God bless you. The Kentucky Patriot signing off. Hope you enjoyed the Revolver video.